Hello, it's Jean with Captain Stitches, and I am here for my stitch and chat and ready to share with you. Sorry, I had the sound off on that, but come on. But it came back on. Sorry about that. But I'm ready to share with you some of my process again of doing my needle book for in my slow stitching project. But hello, Brenda. Hello, Gail. Correct on G and B. Hopefully that I got that correct. Hello, Polly. Thank you all for joining me. Hello, so Terry. Welcome, welcome. I have got so much stuff. I know you can't see this part here, but I have so much stuff laid out on my, maybe if I lower it just a little, you could see some of it, but laid out on my little bit of desk area here right now that if I don't end up knocking some of it off, it'll be a miracle. I just chopped my head off there. There, we won't go up just a little there though. But hello, Kathy. Hello, Shirley. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Goodness, I'm showing some of my mess over here today, but that's all right. But I also wanted to show you real quickly because I'm normally working on The Long Time Gone by Jen Kingwell, and I have been working on a block this morning, which she calls them blocks, but there's 9 portions to this block, so I have 2 of them, and it's a Jacob's ladder. So I have 2 of those, and they'll all 9 of them will be sewn together into one large block. So I have been working on that, but that's not what I'm going to work on during my live today. So I don't know that I'll really get much done, but showing you some of what I've come up with on what I may be doing with my needle book. And everybody, oh, thank you, Kathy. Um, Hello, June. Welcome, welcome. But there's some stuff pinned on here now for some of the ideas, but this all started with this little counted cross stitch block of the sewing machine in the middle, and it was intended for a different project. But after I got it made, I thought I really don't want to do with that with it. I think I will make it into a larger needle book instead and do slow stitching on it. So that is what I am doing. Hello, welcome, Melody. So some of the stuff that I have on, this is just the outer cover right now, which I've taken the inside, what will be the inside out because they have to be stitched separately and then put together. But this is going to be a little pocket down here that's out of some leftover scraps that are stitched together. This I cut out of the corner of an heirloom handkerchief that I have, and I'm not sure exactly if that's where it's going to end up, but I'm going to embellish that somehow on the inside. Just coming up with the batting's still on the back of this piece here, but just right now, I'm just going through all the stuff that I've pulled and coming up with some ideas, which I have another old plaid hanky here that I'm thinking may end up being the outside part of the where I keep some. There'll probably be 2, one for pins and one for needles. And I also have another yellow hanky here that I may use as this falls off my machine. But I don't know if you can see, but not only needle minders, but I like to collect different pins too. And of course, in the pink, the turquoise, and the yellow. And the ones on top here are little birds. And then these are little tulip flowers. And then these are little spools of thread. And they go along with it. So I will probably be using those pins in there this time. Hello, Pamela. Welcome. Thank you for joining. And then, of course, I have several needle minders, which I thought I was going to use a different one, but I decided that this one that I just got from Beverly McCullough, which most of mine are Beverly McCullough needle minders, will go really well with this one. So I decided I'm going to use this one with this project. But what you can't see is I've gone through a lot of the stuff that I have in here that I have pulled that are things that I thought I might be using on it, which I have to show this again. I'm going to leave it on there because I think it'll show up a little better with it pinned on there. I don't think you can really tell the colors, but this is a leftover crocheted flower that is done in a variegated pink, white, and turquoise cotton yarn. And it's just left over from something else that I did. And I thought, oh, well, that'll go perfectly on the front of there. So I'll be attaching that. The rickrack that I have on here will probably be sewn down with beading, which I have my little stack of beads here. And there's some white pearls, some yellow, some pink. This is from a different one. It just happens to be in there, but I do have turquoise ones also that I would probably be adding. Bye, June. Thank you for stopping by. Or is there a different Jean in here that's leaving? I don't know who you're saying bye to. But anyway, so I have, and we're just going to pick these up in my hand for now because I have a whole bunch of buttons down here, which I have antique buttons, which this white one is one of the antique ones. Oh, these yellow ones are from my antique collection. This turquoise one, which is a funny turquoisey, more of a green, but that is from my collection, which I just noticed I did not get my nails done. And there's another antique yellow one that I'll probably, this one is a really odd shape. You won't be able to tell it. But I'm going to use it as the fastener on the front is what I've decided to do with that. And let me see what else we have. And then we have, this isn't antique, but it's a yellow rose. And to go along with that are these little leaves that I thought I would put on there some way. This is a little pink rose, but just all different kinds of buttons, and I'll decide as I go along where I'm going to add those. Blondie, hi. She says, I can't believe I'm catching you live. Yay, yay. Welcome, welcome. Let me see, what haven't I, and over here, which will be more for on the inside, is all these other scraps of fabric in what I have used on the outside that I may use some of those on the inside plain cover. They won't show up. They'll be too busy on the outer part. But so I've just been going through trying to decide. Like I say, I have a piece. Where did it land? I did have a piece of lace. Ooh, I don't know what happened to it. There it is. That I'm thinking will probably, see if I can hold this, will probably go down the middle of that white section. And there are little flowers on it that you can't see that I will embellish with embroidery. And then I'll be doing some type of embroidery stitching down both sides of that. And I do have over here is my box with all different threads, my needle threader and stuff that I will be using some of these colors and probably pulling some others out on it. But anyway, so those are handy. Oops, now push that back down so it'll close. But those are over there for when I decide what I'm actually going to start stitching. But oops, got to take a cat nap. We'll watch the replay. I think that's what that says. They put that heart, for those of you, that want to give the hearts in the chat in the wrong place, because it covers up whose ever comment ends up there. It covers up the last word or two of it, and you can't read it. I hate that they did that. But anyway, that is what I have been pulling and working on. And I'm not exactly, I don't have my needle and thread. And what I would probably be doing is, like I said, I think I'm going to, the first thing that I'll do is attach that and the yellow and the pink down with beading. And I didn't pull my beading needle, don't have it handy. So I'm not going to be able to thread that and do that. But you kind of are getting an idea of my thinking process, what I go along. I mean, there's all kinds of other laces up here that I have, and I may end up just cutting a section out of it even and using and embellishing with embroidery stitches on that somewhere along the line. This is the salvage part of the one, which this is one of my favorite fabrics that has the little hexagons and all the colors on it. And this is the salvage from that. And it has these teeny tiny little flowers and all the colors running down the end of it. And that, in fact, I think I was planning also, and I might have to change my mind or see if I can combine it somehow. But I was thinking that might look cute down that white strip also, and then embellish with embroidery work on that. We will see as I go along. That's why it's called slow stitching. There is no pattern. You just stitch along and think about it mindlessly. And as you're going, you just kind of decide, oh, what I want. Happy to be back. Hello, Susan. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Lisa. She's got 3 different waves down there. Hello, thank you for joining me. But yeah, there's a little bit of planning, of course. You have to, like pull some of the stuff that's going to match and go along with it. But when it comes to the actual stitching portion of it, you just sit there and you start, whatever you think of, oh, this may look good there. This, may look good someplace else. You just start embroidering and coming up with what you want to do, what stitches you want to do. Something that I have on here, I may decide, no, I don't want to do that. I'll switch it, change it out. Whatever you feel like is what I do. So, but which I was originally thinking that I was going to try and use a corner of that one, the hanky that I ended up cutting a portion out of. I thought I was going to try using a corner of that as a pocket, but it didn't work out because it was just too big and it wouldn't have looked right on the inside there. So that was one thing that I changed my mind on right away. I also had these little pieces of like burr. It's not as rough as burlap, but it's kind of like that. And they might just get a piece of it square or something thrown on, and then a flower or something done in embroidery on top of it. But those are the kind of ideas that float through my mind anyway. I don't know how people's minds work, but mine seems to talk to me a lot all the time. It's never quiet, even though I'm by myself out here in the stitching cottage, because the voices in my head seem to be very loud. Oh, but so go ahead and share in the comments. I'd like to know if any of you on here have ever done slow stitching or are familiar with it, are interested in it, or anything like that at all. Just so I have an idea. I know it's been around for a long, long time, has been called many different things: mindless stitching, slow stitching. Some people just refer to it as embroidery because it basically is embroidery, but it's not following a pattern. So, not I, says Susan. Okay, thank you. But it's fun. It's one of those things that I find really very, very, very relaxing. It's just because I'm thinking, but not really thinking at the time. I'm just enjoying the process of trying to decide and stitch along. And while I may be stitching one area, I may be doing something over here, and I'm already looking up here, deciding, okay, what I might want to do there, what I might want to do to fill in and add something maybe to the kind of cross stitch portion that's in here, some fancy stitches or something to draw even more attention to the sewing machine. Who knows? Thought just came to me. I could make it look like there's thread going around there or something, but never. And on the back, which I did that on purpose, there's part of us on here also, and I know it's really, really tiny, but it actually said Jen Allison, My Mind's Eye, which is the name of the fabric collection that a lot of the scraps are from on there. So that's on there. And Polly says she loves all types of hand sewing. Well, you are a gal after my heart then, Polly, because I do too. I love, love, love any form, any type of hand stitching, hand sewing, hand piecing. If I do applique, I normally do needle turn applique. Um, I do not do hexagons in English paper piecing. I stitch them the same as if you were hand stitching a block, hand piecing it together. I do not use the papers. I cut the hexagon shapes and I stitch it just as if you were doing your seam allowance all the way around them. That's how I do that. And if any of you that are in my Facebook group, the banner that is on there, that is a project that is done with the hexagons, totally, completely hand pieced, not using the paper inserts of any kind on that. So, but let me see what and I did get the hanging sleeve that I was talking about for the Civil War era reproduction quilt that I just did. I did get that hanging sleeve made this morning, and I actually stitched it onto the top of the binding by machine, just as if I was stitching the binding on again. So when I turn that, I don't have to stitch that top portion of the sleeve. I only have to hand stitch the bottom portion of the sleeve on there. So I got that in before turning that binding over. Like I said, I don't want to forget, because then I'm going to have to add the whole hanging sleeve and stitch it all the way around this way. Only have to do the bottom and the sides. So I did remember that. This may work well with my, of course, I can't read and have done some slow stitching. Just, I can't read behind the heart. Know what it, just didn't know what it was. I think that's it. Okay. If I look on here, okay, I can see. Yeah, if I look in there. Actually, this may work with my, okay. Okay, when so something pops right, notification pops right in the front when I'm trying to read that. And now it's on my phone in the way. But, okay, great. Need to get rid of those before I don't think there is a way to get rid of them from popping up in the way. But anyway, so other than that, I know that Blondie, you mentioned. We chatted earlier that you've been working on needle books. So she's working on a lot. I mean, this is going to be a rather large one, only because there are some things I like to have a bigger one for. Normally, they're the smaller size, which I have one. And I'm going to grab it and I'm going to show you. I am going to show you because Blondie is on here. And this is, let me not lose my stuff in the middle here as I open it up first. But this is the cover of one that she actually made and sent to me sometime back. This is the inside. And of course, for the needles there, the pins here. And there is this little added thing with some lace trim around it that goes inside there. And this is the one for my, I use it for my wool appliques. So those are the needles that I have in there, so that I know that those are all my wool ones. But beautiful, beautiful work. I cherish it and use it. Love it. So thank you. But yes, isn't that pretty? Hello, Donna. Welcome, welcome. Actually, okay, I read that one. I read that already. But yeah, that stays over in the chair in the corner that you see from time to time where I sit when I'm doing my handwork, has my mother's that she got as a graduation. She got a set of luggage when she graduated from high school. And I have that set. And I took what was called back then a train case. We call them an overnight case or whatever now, but it was called a train case back then. I took that and I redid the inside of it, made it into a sewing box, and painted the outside of it white so that it matches the cottage out here and the theme of my cottage. And that is where I keep my needle books and most of the stuff that I use while I am working on hand stitching. So that is where I pulled that from. And that is where you will find me a lot of the time when I'm not using the sewing machine. I'm sitting over there working on handwork. And I think, which I was trying to figure out a way, but I have to move the whole complete laptop, everything and stuff when I want to sit there and go live. So it's a little more difficult. So I don't try to do that as much anymore because that's a lot of stuff to move and then have to take back over and reposition. But the quilt, the Civil War era quilt is sitting there right now waiting for me to get in that chair and work on the binding on it. I'm going to plan on sewing that down today. And I also under here, because I wasn't exactly sure, I'm going to close that before I accidentally dump it all over the place. But I also have this little project that I can work on also today. Today is going to be my handwork day, except for what I did this morning, because I have to keep to my my goal of doing 2 of the blocks a week on the long time gone, so that I keep on schedule and get that done instead of it getting set off to the side with what happens to so many of my projects. That's why I have so many going. And it's like, I don't know if you can see, because I usually have a quilt on the long arm. I have one to load. I haven't loaded it yet. But when I don't have a quilt on the long arm, a lot of my projects get stacked and set on the back of it. And then I have to move them when I'm ready to put a quilt on the long arm. So I try not to do that as much anymore, which is why I got this rolling cart back here, because I keep most of the stuff that I'm working on frequently on that, so I know where it is, and it keeps it off the other surfaces instead. I have room on the other side of my desk, but I have to keep it clean because, like I say, I have others that come and join me in the stitching cottage. A couple that I teach, and they also come just to enjoy stitching together, but they're here on a regular basis. So on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I need to have the other side of my quilting desk cleared off so they have a space to work at. So otherwise, there's more stuff I could leave laid out at times. But so your long arm is similar to my treadmill. I know what you're talking about. I used to have a treadmill, and I know exactly what you meant with that statement, Lisa. That's too funny. Yes, we tend to use it for storage when we're not using it for what its intended purpose is. But I have to say that the stuff on there does not stay on there as long as what the stuff on my treadmill would stay on. That's too funny. So I'm not the only one who used a treadmill that way. That's cute. Oh, that was funny. You love your cart, says So Terry. It was such a good investment. Yes, it is. And it's really funny because now I got mine a great deal. Mine was $15 on sale or clearance. I don't know what, but anyhow, when I got it, my husband was with, and he came out to the cottage when I had it setting up on my my pressing surface so that I didn't have to bend over to put it together and everything. But I was putting it together, and he's watching it, asked if I needed any help. And I said, no, it's very simple, easy to put together. I'm doing fine. And this has been, I know. Ooh. Let me see. Okay. About 3 months ago, because I got it just after I started on YouTube, and I'm not 3 months old on YouTube yet. But, he came in the other day, and I had it out and was doing something. He said, "Where did you get that cart from?" I'm just like, well, I've had it. You watched me, stand there putting it together. And he didn't remember, but that's funny, but that's okay. I don't remember a lot of things a lot of times either, but I usually remember what I was just going to say, I usually remember what I've purchased, but that's not true either, because I don't know how many of you have purchased, I call them the envelope patterns, the ones in the little plastic sleeves, the little individual patterns, not the books and stuff. But I can't tell you how many of those I have purchased duplicates of. And I come home and I go, oh, go to put it in my file system. And I go, oh, I already have that one. And I go, well, I must have really liked it if I bought it again. So, yes, I do forget. And I do occasionally repurchase things that I've already bought because I forgot. But let me see. What else can we talk about this? I was going to say this morning, but it's already afternoon. The day has gone by so quickly. Oh, I have to tell you, we got, when we redid when I got the cottage, we also did some remodeling on the inside of our house at that time, because it was a time when I had wanted to move and my husband wasn't interested in moving. So I said, well, if we're not going to move, then we need to make some changes to our house and make things for the way that we want them if this is where we are going to stay. And when it came to buying new furniture, my husband and I would go together and we could never, ever agree on what we were getting. So he said, I know he doesn't remember saying this, but he said, it doesn't matter to me. Just go ahead and pick out whatever you want by myself without him. So he wasn't with when I got it. But I did take pictures in the store of it and sent to him so he would see what it was. But when you're buying furniture in a great big, warehouse type building, it's like the sizes are not quite the same as when you get it in your house. And even though I knew it would fit, has never fit the way it should have. I mean, it was this great big, one of the dual reclining sofas with the little, thing for your cups and the thing that lifts up, on the middle. So it's huge. And then got the great big recliner for myself also that goes with it. I didn't get the one for him because my husband is on the short side and I knew he would not be comfortable sitting in it. So I did not get that chair for him, and which is one of the reasons why our couch, okay, it's, I guess, about 7 years old now, but has only been sat on maybe twice in those 7 years because we don't use it, because my husband will not sit on it because he says his feet don't touch the floor. And it's like, so it sits there looking pretty with the, the rest of the stuff and everything. And the other day I was discussing with one of my friends and thought, we never ever use it, but it's, in the way. And I said, and it's in the way of, where I would like to have my hand quilting frame and everything and stuff. And she says, well, so why don't you just get rid of it now instead of waiting until you get a different couch? And I said, I never thought of doing that. So was it Sunday, Saturday? What is today? It must have been yesterday, Sunday. Yes. That we got rid of it. Somebody that we knew was able to use it. They came and got it. And I was going to move my hand quilting frame. So I waited until after my husband went to bed so he wouldn't be in the way and I didn't make noise moving all the furniture, but decided I would, rearrange everything myself. Well, I got my hand quilting frame to where I thought I wanted it instead, moved my great big chair over to where I thought it was going to work. And of course, nothing ended up fitting correctly in what in my mind I had the idea for. So, and this is, at midnight, probably that I was moving furniture, and I just decided, okay, nope, this isn't going to work. So I moved the stuff out of the way that I had in front of my husband's chair, knowing, okay, if he happened to get up before me, he'd be able to get in his chair, not have the stuff in the way for him to see TV and everything like that. So I did move stuff out of the way, and also made sure there wasn't anything where he was going to get up during the middle of the night, not know that I had moved stuff and trip over it. That's always a nice thing to do. But anyway, so yeah, so this morning I was up at 5 o'clock, which I never slept anyhow. I never ended up going to sleep. So I was up at 5 o'clock and decided that I was just going to take the hand quilting frame down, that I would use my lap hoop instead, because it's It's just in the way, until I decide what I'm going to do with it for sure, where it's going to go. I may even possibly decide I'm going to sell it at this point in time. I don't know. But so I took apart all the stuff on it that I could. And because the last time it was taken apart, nothing was labeled. And there were a few things that almost got lost. So I labeled for it because it's a three rail ratcheting one, just similar to a long arm, only it's a hand quilting frame. And if you don't get the poles back on where they go, nothing turns the right way and everything. So I labeled every one of the poles before taking them off. And because the wooden parts on the ends, one of them came up missing last time, I got out the big Ziploc bags, put on the ends of them, got some yarn out, tied it around so I knew that none of the ends were going to come off it either. And then unscrewed the parts. So I took all the poles off, had that all done before my husband got up this morning. And then he had to take the great big board that goes across on the bottom that holds the two ends up. And we carried it out, and it's in his workshop and will be put in the storage loft above that to be stored for right now where it was before until I decide what I'm going to do for that. So I was busy and having no sleep. I was pretty worn out already before I started doing anything today. So if my mind is a little, that's because, which I rarely get more than 2 hours sleep a night, but I am in desperate need of some sleep at this point in time. Thanks, Jean. Love hand stitching. Thank you, Bondi. Yes, I know you love hand stitching, and I love your hand stitching. Beautiful, beautiful work. And Lisa says, I love rearranging furniture when the hubs is out. He doesn't like change very much, and things should be in straight lines. Poor guy. He thinks things should be in straight lines, or you think things should be in straight lines? Because everything of mine has to be angled. So I'm not sure how you, or yeah, I think you mean that he thinks everything should be in straight lines. And no, I don't like anything in a straight line. Everything's at an angle and whatever. And the other thing is, if you are a stitcher and do hand stitching, you know that the light needs to be on your left side, not on your right side, because if it's on the right side, it will cast a shadow. So if my husband is helping, he never understands why I'm always making sure that my chair and everything is where the lamp can be. My lamp can be on the left side. He says, what difference does it make? And I'm going, it makes a big difference. So I'm always going around, with my arm, making sure, okay, is there going to be room for my lamp? And those are some things. So it's just, it's easier, I think. And I love to rearrange furniture too. I'm always rearranging furniture. I'm rearranging things, not the furniture because there's not room, but I rearrange a lot of the stuff in my organization out here constantly because I always think, oh, there's a better way. It can be done better. So my stuff has to be angled and changed frequently. Yes. Is that a woman thing? I don't know. I know my mother, rearranged furniture a lot too. So I don't know if I get it from her or what it is, but yes. And I have to say too, because of that, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but because even the stuff that sits on, the coffee tables or the side tables or whatever has to be angled. It's not straight. And my husband knows that. And when both of my sons still lived at home, he would purposely, he would say to the boys, watch this. And he would move something, from the angle that I had it and either make it straight or just totally move it. And he would say to him, let's see how long it takes your mom to find out that I moved it. Well, the minute I came in the room, I would know it was moved and they'd all break out laughing because I'd go right over and move it back the way it was supposed to be. And they'd all break out laughing because it was a joke in our household for a long time because I knew anything that had been moved. I still know anything that has been moved, but okay. Pamela says she's going now. I can't shake this head. I am so sorry, Pamela. Yes. I hope you get over that. You'll catch the replay later. Thank you. Hello, Katie. I didn't see you pop in. Welcome. Moving furniture is a way to keep things clean. Yes, it is. Which I was surprised. I do clean, but I was surprised at how much, what do we call it? Not dust. It's the stuff that sticks to the but had gotten underneath the couch since the last time that I had moved it, but needed to be cleaned, not filled. But yeah, that was surprising. But yeah, everything gets a real nice, good dusting when you move furniture because you take everything off to move it, so all the whole surface and everything gets dusted really nicely. Which that is a hard thing. I don't know how many of you have a hard time if you have the shelves and the cubbies and everything. I think that is something that is really hard to keep clean in our sewing rooms because the fabric and the stuff is so close to it that you can't take it off and dust your shelves. So trying to keep that stuff clean and dusted, I think, is one of the hardest things in a sewing room to keep clean. Everything that's on a surface is easy because you can move it and you can clean it off, randomly and stuff. But the shelves are hard to keep the edges and the dust and whatever off that, I find. So, but this has turned into a different conversation than the slow stitching, I guess. Kind of got off topic a little bit there, but that's okay too. No problem with that. It's okay to just sit and chat at times. But I think, and this is my little, I was using earlier, and somebody said something about, I can't remember what I was in, but somebody said needed to change their rotary blade. And I had just gotten my little 18 millimeter one out for trimming on the little corners that I was doing on the Jacob's ladder. And it was like, man, that is a really dull blade. And I hardly ever use this rotary cutter because, I don't know, how many of you even use this one at all. I would think for foundation paper piecing, it would come in handy. So if you're doing that, you may use it more frequently. I will use it. I'm trying to think what I even originally got it for. I think maybe trimming on some templates and whatever. I may use it to trim around on and that type of thing. But I even had a little hard time locating it this morning when I wanted to find it because I don't use it that frequently. So I was surprised at how dull the blade was on there. And of course, I don't have any replacement blades, so I can't replace it until I get out someplace that I guess I could order right to my door, but I will try and see if I can find them when we go to the store before I do that. Yes, that's what I got it for. Thank you, Susan. That reminded me. Yes, for cutting around curves when you have one. That's what I got it for. It's been so long. But Lisa says, therefore, moving furniture is health management. You buying this? Yes, I agree. It's good exercise. Now, I do have to admit, though, I haven't done. This is probably this second time, but if you have had both knees replaced, I didn't notice so much on moving furniture, but I had both hips replaced just 2 months apart, less than 7 months ago. And I did feel the difference in that and thought, ooh, maybe some of this isn't too good yet. It may be a little early on some of that on the heavy furniture moving, and especially if you have to bend over while tugging or pushing on anything. I thought, that maybe wasn't such a good idea, but I have no one else to do it, so I'm still going to do it. Brenda says that she uses it to cut fabric, and I have to look down here again, on garment patterns. I could see that would work too, but I can't tell you the last time I sewed a garment pattern. That's been a long time. That is actually how I pretty much started sewing, was with garments, and I think a lot of us started that way. But no, I haven't sewn a garment in a long, long time. The last thing garment-wise that I can remember sewing was a I Dream of Jeannie costume for my one granddaughter years ago. I mean, she was probably around, I'm going to say 7 or 8 years old then, and she is in her 20s now. So that's been a long time since I've done any garment sewing. I may do, you know, alterations a little bit on some clothing, but I haven't done any garment sewing for a long time. Not as, I mean, I grew up sewing almost all of my clothes, but I don't know, fabric. It used to be we did it because it was cheaper. Now a lot do because, okay, they can get the fit better. But as far as it being cheaper anymore, no, I would say it's more expensive to make your own clothes now because of the cost of fabric. But not that it wouldn't still be enjoyable and fun. I just haven't done that for a while. Now Brenda's going to make me think, oh, maybe I should do that. But, oh, Brenda, just so you know, I'll let you in on right now, the garden themed wedding ring FPP is the one that is in the lead on the vote for which one to do first. So if you have that, you might want to be gathering your fabrics and thinking about that if you want to. I won't be doing that as a sew along per se, but anybody that wants to join in that has the pattern and wants to do that along with me as I do it, we'll talk about that and we'll see what we can do. I like that. Yay. Yes. I make hubby t-shirts with pockets and pajama pants. Okay. So that does remind, yes, I have made pajama pants for, I think I made a pair for my one son and daughter-in-law when I was visiting them in Oklahoma, and also showed her at that time how to cut pattern out and to make the pajama pants. So yes, that I have done. But so I think I know I was about 15 minutes late starting this morning, and that's because I forgot to make the post and get everything ready for going live. And I'm going, oh, I never set up the information to go live this morning. So I was a little late in getting that done. And it was like, oh, I'm not going to get this all done and posted by 3 o'clock and start. So I had to hit for 3:15 instead. But so we might be a little bit short today. Hello, Jean in chat. Hello, Sheila. Welcome, welcome. I like that you get that. So yarn arm is hard to say, but the Sheila I can get. So welcome, welcome. Getting close to the end, but we'll just show the cover portion of this on some of it and what I'm getting ready on the slow stitching to do and all the embellishings, which I don't think I showed, but I have little tiny, everybody, I need to find some good thrift shops to go to, but I have little, you can't see the colors in here, but I have little blue bows, little pink bows with the pearls on it, little white ones that they may get thrown in on here someplace too. It's just hard to tell at this point in time because I'm just starting with the embellishments, but this one I really like. I'm excited about this because I wish you could see just how tiny, and you probably can, how tiny those flowers are on there. And I think that's going to be cute to embellish those on there. And like I say, I love my pins that I collect. Those are going to be cute in there. The needle minder, again, is really going to work out nice on there. But I'm excited to get working on it. And I'm the type, especially on slow stitching projects, once I start one like this, that is a smaller project, I like to keep going until I'm done with it. I don't want to put it down. So I don't know how many of you other ones do that. Brenda says, get some rest. Are you talking to me? Because I would love to get some rest, but it just doesn't work that way, no matter how tired I am. And this has been for years and years. I cannot sleep. I can go all night long without sleeping, and there's no way I'm going to take a nap during the day because I cannot sleep during the day at all. The only way I can sleep during the day is if I have had surgery and they have put me out. That's the only way I'm going to sleep during the day. Once I'm up, and that's it. So, and I don't even bother to go to bed until between 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning because I'm just going to lay there not able to sleep anyway. So Judy Niemeyer is having a free sew along June 29th. Might help with her pattern. Hey, okay. I'll have to find more information on that. And Sheila says, me too, Jean, I nap. That's it. Well, I don't, like I say, I don't nap at all during the day. And if I sleep at night, it's if I get an hour, and it's not an hour all at once, it may be 15 minutes at a time, and then wake again. But if I get 2 hours, that's a good night's sleep for me. But I have plenty of energy. I always feel tired. I feel exhausted at times, but I have plenty of energy. So I know it's not healthy though, but there's nothing I can do about it. I've been on everything under the sun that there is supposed to be to help people that have insomnia and sleep disorders, and nothing has ever worked. So it's just, I've adapted to that is my life, and that's it. So me too. Okay, that's the same one. Sorry, thought it was a different post there. But I don't know what I will be sharing on Thursday. I do know that tomorrow is my tip demo Tuesday. My plan is to do a remake of how I fold and organize my fabric. That is still the plan, because I have a few spots that have gotten messed up on my shelves that need to be cleaned back up. So that also gets me reorganized and cleaned up, and at the same time can share with you my method of how I do that. I know there's several out there, and it's always fun to see how other people do it and what may be an inspiration for something different that you haven't tried for folding and doing yours. I do not use boards. So that is one thing I will say. There is no added expense whatsoever in the way that I fold and store my fabric. I don't have to buy anything, but just we'll put that in there. The rest you'll have to watch. It's a recorded one, not a live one. So you'll have to just watch that when I drop that tomorrow for Tip Demo Tuesday. I can't read that there because the thing's in the way. Is the soul alone? Oh, Brenda, you're asking Brenda. Okay, gotcha. On YouTube. Yeah, we'll have to. I do magnesium drops before bed periodically. Well, I do have low potassium and magnesium and vitamin D, but we won't go there. But yeah, so I haven't heard of the magnesium. I don't know. I don't remember. I know I've been on magnesium at times before, so I don't remember. There's so many things. But okay. Yes, it is on YouTube. Okay, I'll have to look up. I have not looked up Judy Niemeyer. I don't know why, but thank you for that information, Brenda, and I will definitely be researching that. You said June 29th. Well, that's a long time off, though. I mean, we got the whole month, but I guess I do have plenty of projects to work on and finish up between now and then. So I say June 29th is a long way off, but it can pop up there before we know it. It can already be there. So I want to thank all of you for popping on and joining me today. Sorry that I got off topic and wasn't able to show a little bit more of what I'm doing on the slow stitching. But once I have most of the embellishments that I'm going to use and in place, then I can start on the stitching, and I'll be able to share more of that with you better. This was just kind of getting ready for it and that type of thing. So off to start dinner. Taco salad. Yum. We'll chat on the flip side. Sure do appreciate you and your sharing. Such a gem. Oh, you're too kind, Blondie. But thank you. Bye-bye and enjoy. I love taco salad. Would love to share some of that with you. But thank you. Thank you for joining, and take care. So again, thank you everybody for joining me. I appreciate it. I'll give you a little time. Those of you that want to say goodbye to each other in the chat, and I will be, like I said, Tip Demo Tuesday is on Tuesday, and I will be back with something I hope interesting on Thursday afternoon at 3 p.m. for my Stitch and Chat. I'm thinking, and I don't know yet, but I'm thinking I may be changing my schedule for my second live chat. I'm thinking of changing the day totally and possibly the time, but I will let you know. And those of you that are in my Facebook group, um, I will let you know that information there. Those of you that follow my other page, Kept in Stitches, you'll also know. But anyway, if I know by tomorrow that if I'm going to change it or not, I will let you know. Other than that, you'll just have to be surprised and find out. And if you haven't hit that like button, please go ahead and hit that like button before you hop out. Enjoyed your live, Jean. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for the, I'm not sure what TTFN means. I'm not good with the with that type of thing. Oh, but thank you. And Susan saying, take care, everyone. So thanks. But yeah, hit that like button. Those of you that are on here, I know you subscribe, so we won't go into that. But if you're not in the Facebook group and want to join, that description will always be in the that link will always be in the description box below my videos and live chats. So thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Enjoy your stitching. If you haven't tried slow stitching, I hope maybe this will inspire some of you to give it a try. It's really fun. And as always, you know what I'm going to say to end. I can keep you in stitches. Bye-bye, everyone.